Hi, I'm Medha, and you're watching me on Dharmishtha's Diary. I'm a multitasker, so I've actually grown up in an environment where everybody in my family was either a poet or a writer or a painter or just creative. We were all born creative. I don't know how, but I think we borrow a lot of our creativity from our mum. So I uh, b- I started drawing and painting at a really young age. We were very heavily into reading. I think that somewhere led automatically for me especially to begin writing. And I used to, I mean, growing up I used to write very basic stuff, poetry, small little prose. But then eventually, once I started doing theatre as an actor, writing kind of evolved because I started watching a lot of plays. I started working with a lot of directors who used to write beautifully, and slowly, as I kept getting more and more exposed to the arts world, I think writing definitely was something that I identified with a lot. I started acting from a very young age. In fact, I started doing professional theatre from the age of 17. So at 17, this wide-eyed girl who she was doing plays at Prithvi and doing shows for a packed audience was a huge thing, and that's where I think my acting journey really began. I used to do plays in schools and colleges, and a lot of that actually. I was a lot into extracurriculars, but the real journey actually began when I was 17 and I looked at Prithvi and I was like, wow, I'm going to perform here today. And then there was no looking back, of course. I just finished a Canadian feature film with Sean Bean. So there's been a lots happening in terms of acting also. Um, but theatre is, I think, somewhere my first love, and writing and directing for stage. Um, I know, I think it's a great high. It's superb to be doing that. Yeah. Um, Actually, I would say in 2010 I traveled to a theatre festival in the UK, and that's where I saw a lot of people from around the world doing theatre. And sometimes you could understand the language, sometimes you could understand their form, and sometimes you couldn't. And just watching all of that on stage, I think kind of blew my mind in a big way. I was pretty young at that point of time. And when I saw all of that on stage, I was like, wow, I got to do theatre like that. Because all these years I was exposed to theatre locally, which happens in the country, but, but it was very limited in its forms and styles, and of course because it's our Indian style. And the minute I think as a kid, when you're exposed to something which is so grand, it blows your mind, and you're seeing people from all kinds of countries, races, backgrounds, and you see them perform their styles and their cultures. Um, Definitely, that was the turning point where I said, "Wow, I got to have a little theater production company and start doing the kind of things that I want to do." So yeah, that's when it started. Yeah. There were many entries from across the globe, and there are many entries from each country also. So and we were chosen from India, and there were only 5 countries by the end of it that finally got chosen. So it was pretty huge. It was almost unbelievable because I remember just filling a form and writing to them, and they said, okay, great, this looks good, send us your audition tapes of the team and everything. And they gave us some scenes and some basic lines on what to basically make our audition tapes on. And it was almost like, okay, I'm doing this just to have fun and just to figure out how these things are done. I had no clue that we would really get through. It was the most unexpected thing. um, and it was a huge thing to get selected out of all these people. Imagine, out of the entire world, you're probably one of the top 5 companies in the world for that particular year who's doing perhaps the most creative work possible. And it was a huge achievement for me for that point of time, I remember. And it took me a while to actually accept what's happened, that oh wow, we selected. Yeah, there was a lot of pride in it, of course, and I was thrilled, but also somewhere I kind of figured what this is going to lead to. I knew that this is going to lead me and everybody who was involved in the project to a lot of international exposure in terms of art and craft and the styles, the music and theatre that happens across the globe. A lot of cultural exchange, and that was the most exciting part about it, because theatre, sadly, I keep saying this, and it's not really like a complaint, it is how it is actually. The theatre that way has a very limited reach for people who are really young, who don't have the kind of finances, because theatre does not receive finances from outside. It's all your love and passion that you really put into it. So for a small company, for company of very young adults who are barely out of college, who are probably they've started their first jobs, all of us huddled in a room and trying to figure out our next theatre project. For all of us, I think it was huge. It was really huge. Yeah.
I've tried every other way. I've tried every other way, every other way. I've tried every other way. I've tried every other way, every other way.
I'm gonna set you toe tapping, don't worry, it's rockin'. Wanna swing with the rhythm, wanna swing with the beat. Yeah, I'm just here to have a game. Now I'm sure you're not insane. Rapping is but one aspect of this romance twisting game. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I've tried every other way, every other way.
Please come watch the Untitled on the 4th and the 5th of February at G5A at Mahalakshmi. You can book your tickets on bookmyshow.com. The play is a bit of comedy, it's got a bit of katha, classical music, dance, dubstep, beatboxing, and a whole lot of fun. So come on Saturday and Sunday, come party with us and join us for the Untitled. Thank you.